Hey, Milan Jokic here. Today we're going to be setting a window and we're going to be showing you how to waterproof it correctly so that later on down the road you don't have any issues with your window. So first off, we're going to be installing our paper, which is a moist stop. We're going to be stapling it on. Go ahead guys, staple it. You always want to start with the bottom one first because, as you know, water flows downhill. So we are in San Diego and a lot of other contractors won't wind up putting an extra barrier on here, but we will, because as you can see, this is a large wall and water will be coming down it from all the rains and everything. So we're going to actually do two applications to make it bulletproof so that we don't have water issues. So as you can see, we have another flashing right here that's more of a rubberized flashing that we're going to take and put inside the sill. And then we're going to take it and wrap it around the sides. So put it inside. Yeah, there you go. And you want to be careful with this stuff because it's sticky. So you're going to want to take it, get it down those corners nice and tight so that when you come and do your drywall, you don't have any issues with the drywallers and setting their drywall. And then with this stuff, you can take it and you can wrap it down nicely in the corners so it's nice, waterproof, tight, so you don't have any issues later on. Now we're going to take this and run our paper down the sides of the wall. Right here, while they're up there doing setting the paper for the window, we're using a window product that's called Andersen 100, which is an amazing window. The fenestration and everything on it works great, and it's great for insulating the homes. It has a UV rating under 0.3, which is a really great product because of the fiberglass system that they have around the outside of it, and it's not like a regular vinyl window. And these are very cost effective. So I would highly recommend using these windows on any one of your projects, because windows are one of those things that if you do have an issue with it, it's a very expensive fix. So in the beginning, if you wind up putting in something really good and nice, you're not going to have to later on wind up tearing it out and fixing it. And also with this stuff, if you're building a new home or a large scale remodel like what we're doing on this project, you're not going to have any issues with the inspector. So once we set this window, another thing to know is you always want to leave all the labeling on it until final inspection. What that does is that tells the inspector what rating it has on it. I've done a job before where the homeowner has come and started removing all those labels. You do not want to do that until you go through your final inspection so you can get your house signed off. So now we're getting back to the window. The guys almost have it. What we're going to do here when we get this ready for caulking is we're just going to have the guys go through and caulk the top and the two sides. We're not going to do the bottom, and the reason being is when water comes down, you always want it to have an area to where it can escape. So what we do is we leave that bottom open. If we would wind up running a bead of caulk on the bottom, that means the water would come down, get trapped in the bottom, and seep back into the house. We don't want that. We want to build a house that lasts for a very long time, and especially on this project, the owner's planning on staying here for a very long time, and I don't want to get phone calls for water issues later on. All right, so Antonio here is going to sit here and caulk the window for us. A little close to the outside. And you always want to get it a little closer to the outside of the edge, and the reason being is once your window gets set inside the hole, usually the window frames, the rough framing, is set about a ½ inch bigger than the actual window that sits in the hole. And when you have your caulking on the outside edge, it's really going to get and catch that framing. It's not going to be stuck on the inside. Mario's going to go on the inside of the house and set his shims so that we can have the window set in the right proper hole. So once Antonio's done caulking this, Mario will be on the inside. Antonio and I will go ahead and set the window in its hole. All right, so now we got the window set. Mario's gonna be on the inside, checking it with his level and making sure everything's all right. We're using an exterior set of screws so that later on, once they do their stucco and everything, it doesn't rust through. That can cause you problems later on and cause you water issues. So every little thing you do on the house really counts. So doing these types of things really makes a difference so you don't have issues down the line. As you can see, Mario's inside checking with the level, making sure everything's good so that we can go through and do the window. The reason why he's checking the level on the sides is because when the drywall goes on the inside, you really want a nice straight line to follow, and everything looks square inside the house. So now Mario told him, Mario had him put a screw right there in the bottom, and the reason being is I'm sure he's going to adjust it over here to get the window level and go up and down with it, so that one screw will hold it in its spot. Let me push it over. So Mario needs it adjusted a little bit to the side. I can push it from here if he need be.
Okay, Mario.
So now we have a nice set level window, and the next thing they're going to do is go through and screw it on. You want to come do this side? And as you can see here, what we're doing at the bottom of the window is we have these blue shims. They're about a 1/16 of an inch. We're going to be putting them in there as little spacers so that the water can come out of the bottom. And then we'll be ready to screw off the window, and we shouldn't have any water issues. So now what we're doing for an extra layer of protection is we're going to be setting the caulking around the outside of it, and then we're going to take a stick, that stick right there that's on the ladder, and we're going to wipe it so it connects to the paper and on the frame of the window, so you have a nice tight seal right there. We're still not going to do it across the bottom because we still want the water to seep out. So now we're back. We kind of have a unique situation here where we have the window down at the bottom down here, and now we have a window that's going up above it. So to properly flash this, we had to run our paper across the bottom of the sill, and we're gonna actually cut it out. Let me see the staple gun. We're gonna actually cut this out so that we're gonna be able to get our rubberized sealant in there. So Mario's gonna cut this out right now. And the reason why it's a unique situation is because we have to flash one window properly and then also still flash the bottom one properly. So right now we're actually good with what we're doing. So, and then we'll just staple this on like that. And now we're gonna put our rubberized flashing on there. Now we're going to take these, set them back up now that we have this ready. We also, if you see, we cut a little slit inside the paper right here so that this can fold back up and over. So a lot of times on the jobs we like using a 10-inch or a 12-inch moist stop because it makes it a lot easier for the lathers that are on here, which are the stucco guys. Once the window gets set, the flange basically takes about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So if you use a 6-inch, that will only leave 5 inches of paper for them to waterproof to. But if you give them a nice big spread like this, they're able to waterproof nicely and tight into it so you don't have issues later on down the road. Alright, so now that we got our window and all our flashing installed, this is what it should look like. Let's go over the steps again. Number 1, we want to set this lower paper right here. Number 2, we want to put the rubberized sealed on the inside and to protect the inside sill. Number 3, we run the moist stop along the sides, on both sides, and then we're ready to set the window. Once we set the window, we wind up putting the caulking in, rubbing the caulking everywhere along the exterior of it, and then once that's done, we wind up installing our paper, as you can see at the very top up there, installing our paper last so it comes over all the rest of the paper. And the reason why we do it in this system and the reason why it's done this way is so that no water winds up going behind the paper and it all flows down the wall. So stay tuned and please take a look at us and subscribe to our channel at MMD Construction. Thank you.